Hi, One Best PR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the main card of UFC 187, and we are talking right now with returning guest Nick Kalikas from MMAOddsBreaker.com. Nick Kalikas, of course, is a professional MMA odds maker and a consultant for numerous high-profile sports books. And joining us over the phone from Fightnomics.com and the author of the book Fightnomics, Reed Kuhn, John Makdessi, and Donald Cerrone. And this line has actually taken some interesting movement recently, hasn't it? I think like last night I saw it in the 300s. Now Cerrone a minus 470 favorite at 5 times. Makdessi plus 375 on the other side. And Cerrone, you know, on his way up. He's fought and won 7 times in the past 14 months. So it's under, I mean, obviously the momentum is on his side. The question is just at minus 470. Is that getting a little bit too up there? Makdessi coming off of a big knockout. Obviously, Cerrone has the advantage in wrestling on the mat. I don't know. Let's start with you, Reed Kuhn. Cerrone should be the favorite here. How big of a favorite should he be?
He should be the favorite. We're getting into the level now where I think it's too much. It's just a little too risky. I mean, this fight, Cerrone is being talked about in the title picture. He is very experienced. He's been in against the best. And he's a very proven talent. He's a powerful striker. He's aggressive. He also has a ground game. He does have it all. But one thing that he doesn't do well is defend. He walks forward. He's willing to brawl. He's willing to take a punch. And he is not invincible. And here he is facing a counter striker who is very, very precise, technical, and powerful in Makdessi. It plays to the one weakness that we've seen with Cerrone. So I already think that the line is maybe a little too steep. And I would probably back off, given that Cerrone is a likely winner, but maybe look for value on a prop with Makdessi.
Nick Kalikas, the line seems to me it's been moving up. Has the public been piling in on Cerrone even as a significant favorite?
Yes, sir. I opened at minus 305.
Wow.
So, yep, overshot it. You know what? Makdessi hasn't been that big of an underdog either. So I gave Cerrone more respect than all of his opponents thus far because he deserves it. I mean, he's such a well-rounded fighter. You know, and it's a tough out for sure for Makdessi. I mean, Cerrone could win this fight on the ground. He could win it standing up as well. But I mean, the line is getting ridiculous now. Everybody throwing Cerrone in parlays. They're getting a tremendous amount of parlay action, at least at 5 times. And I'm sure that's going to be the case with a lot of books as well. So the sports books are going to need Makdessi to pull off the upset, which I'm okay with. Because in situations like this, a lot of times, just people underestimate the underdog, and Makdessi's definitely a talented fighter.
Cerrone's a fan favorite. He's a UFC favorite. The UFC would love to see him, you know, get a title shot and win. He's on a big winning streak. So I guess I can understand why all this action is coming in on him. But you think it's an overreaction? A
little bit. I mean, like I said, Reed mentioned that Cerrone's strike defense is a little flawed. You know, time and time again, he has gotten tagged. Now the guy's tough as nails. He's hard to finish, obviously. But, I mean, he does have that weakness and flaw. And like you said, Makdessi's a very precise striker. He's got a lot of power, underrated power to go along with it. He's faced longer opponents in the past as well. He's had a lot of success against them. I mean, so on the feet, if this fight stays standing, it's going to be a lot closer than people realize. Now, the biggest advantage is obviously Cerrone on the ground. I think if Cerrone sticks with it, he probably can get Makdessi to the ground. And then on the ground, Cerrone will finish him by submission, I think, fairly quick. So if Makdessi can keep the fight up, he has a much better chance than the odds indicate to finish this fight, or I should say to hang in there, because if it hits the ground, Cerrone can't finish it as well. And if Cerrone was smart, he'd mix in a lot of kicks. I mean, in his last fight against Campbell, Makdessi was struggling a little bit. I think that might impact this line as well, as far as people thinking that Cerrone has the kicks, he's got the striking to do some damage against Makdessi, because he was getting lit up against Campbell there for a minute as well. So, but this is a different situation, different scenario. Sometimes Cerrone doesn't play to his strengths, which would be to get the fight to the floor. And he wants to stand up and prove to everybody that, you know, he's one of the best strikers in the UFC. And he is, no doubt about it. But defensively, it is a concern for sure.
Public on Cerrone, and the books are going to need Makdessi, and according to Nick Kalikas, that is okay. All right, Reed Kuhn, at the current odds, what do you think is the best way to bet this fight? Just take Makdessi at plus 375, Cerrone, but on some kind of prop, maybe by sub, maybe take a shot with the under. It's a 3-round fight. The over 2.5 is minus 145 right now. The under plus 115. What would you recommend here, Reed?
I think if you're getting plus money on the under of 2.5 rounds, there's probably more value there because there is a lot of finishing potential. Both guys are powerful strikers. Makdessi does have a chance to win it with his hands, but you're right, if it goes to the ground, it is clearly Cerrone's world down there, and he could easily get a submission. He's very good at finishing fights. So one way or the other, I would say there is a above average potential for a finish given this matchup. And if you're getting even a little bit of plus money on the under of 2.5, I think that's good.
So your pick on this is under 2.5 at plus 115. And as far as the side's concerned, Donald Cerrone minus 470, Makdessi plus 375. If you had to make a bet on either of those, which would you take?
I think I'd be uncomfortable laying that much juice.
Right.
I'd just make a very small one on the underdog there and probably go bigger value with a prop.
Okay. Thanks so much, Reed Kuhn and Nick Kalikas.